afternoon, Kansas. This is beautiful. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all. I have an admission before I start. I am totally and completely unprepared. I am unprepared to deal with racism. I am unprepared to deal with bigotry. I really am. I grew up in Boise, Idaho, a beautiful Christian white community with a majority of Christian and Mormon families, very heterosexual. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful because I really thought that I was one of them. And it was very easy for me to blend in with everybody. And even though I experienced overt racism and again, I didn't really understand it because my parents had the audacity to teach me that everyone deserves equal respect and attention. Even after graduate school and law school, where I took multiple classes on race and class and became a race trainer in the public school system, I still didn't view myself as the other until I put this on. As soon as I put on my scarf in my late 20s, I became a target. Rather than being able to control and protect my body the way I chose, I was seen as an extra disposable portion of our community. And it turns out, upon reflection, that privilege, whether you have it or you think you have it, actually affords us the feeling of invincibility. And as soon as you discard that privilege, or you lose that privilege, you realize that you are a threat to the norm. I know that a majority of us here today know exactly what that feels like, to become a threat, to become a source of danger. And I want you to know that me and countless others in my community love you. We love you and we need you. These dark days. So I want to address really quickly two simple points. First, the uncanny and apparently shocking idea that Muslims are an essential part of American society. We have been here since the days of the forced slave trade, and we are probably not going anywhere. Probably. This new administration ran a campaign to separate everyone into definable subgroups, but that doesn't work. Every Muslim I know, and in fact every person I know, carries multiple, endless identities. Identities that we're born with and those that we choose to inherit define us as readily and as quickly as we define them. And just as our religion or lack thereof is only one part of our true self, Muslims carry a prism of identities. As American Muslims, our lives and our identities are as much a part of this society as the people that we interact with every single day. And as a mother, a woman of color, of Middle Eastern descent, who wears hijab, who has a husband who is made disabled by violent crime, every new identity I carry carries with it blessings and difficulties. And just as there are parts of me and dozens of identities that I hold on to that no one will ever know about, I know that everyone in this audience does too. And we cannot, none of us, be generalized or contained under any particular banner. Similarly, when I spoke to people in my community about their reactions to the Trump administration's proposed policies, I was overwhelmed by response. Obviously, some policies will have a greater direct effect on us, like the proposed Muslim surveillance program, the Muslim registry, the designation of most Muslim organizations that protect our rights as being a terror-supporting organization, as well as the myriad of foreign policy and diplomatic disasters that await us with this administration that will affect our families that are scattered and situated all over the world. But all of these policies, all of the policies that negatively affect Muslims and negatively affect all Americans, affect us as well. When I asked my very diverse community to share their fears of the upcoming administration, They spoke of health care, reproductive rights, economic downturn, attacks against refugees and LGBTQIA individuals. They spoke of education, of benefit programs, and of the environmental crisis. The same issues we're all collectively worried about. Whatever happens to you, happens to us. And what we experience as Muslims is a part of the American experience. And though it is important to work against the specific effects of these horrible policies on marginalized groups, suffice it to say that if we go down, we're all going down together. Some faster, some harder, but all of us in the same direction on this political Titanic of an administration. My second point, why are we surprised about the outcome of this election? For those of us in the activist and marginalized communities, we have never had full justice or redress in the issues we care most about. The US government has, since its funding, started and participated in hundreds of wars against almost every Native American tribe and Central American country, everywhere from the Philippines to Afghanistan, just to show the diversity of their disdain for people of color. We have supported and funded slavery in every form, developed the most horrifying arsenal in the world, and the arrogance and inhumanity to use it. We've created laws that overwhelmingly incarcerate people of color, systems that keep women in emotional and economic shackles, and an education system that fails to teach our children the truth of all of this every single day. We have killed people for their sexuality. Killed people for their sexuality. We have tortured people of different abilities for centuries and then turned around and elected an official who openly mocks those individuals. We've bled thousands and thousands of bodies into the soil that we stand on, and more in other people's land, and ripped the environment apart for corporate gain. We've held up dictators and tyrants for our national interest. And we've uprooted and cleansed ethnically areas with native populations, and are continuing to do so today. We are far from a nation that should be priding itself on achieving liberty, justice, equality, and rights, because those qualities have not been inherently given to us by government. Rather, they have been demanded by us at every turn. The most brilliant moments in US history have occurred when people just like us stand up and force moral change. Now I could wax ugly politics all day, but, and this is a huge but, we are still a nation of millions of colors, preferences, abilities, orientations, religions, incomes. We are amazing. And what we do have here is a broken country with millions of misled people, but a tremendous responsibility to fix it. And we will do so together while we still have platforms and voices to be able to do so. While the Constitution, by the point, is still in hard copy and not being amended permanently via Twitter feed. We must stand in solidarity, true solidarity with one another, across all of our issues and all of our interests, with genuine concern and love for our fellow human beings. True solidarity is absolutely critical, and we don't stand a chance without one another in these frightening and dark times. And I'll end with a quote from the fierce activist Valerie Kaur, who said just the other day, "What if this darkness is not the darkness of the tomb, but the darkness of the womb?" As many of us who have been fortunate enough to give birth as a planned experience with support and safety, birth is a terrifying and incredible experience. And so is this. A birth of sorts, an awakening of our collective conscious, and an opportunity for real change.